Alright, I think we're all set. Let me minimize this, minimize this. That's not chat. There we go, that's chat. Howdy, Xavier, good to see you. Alright, we're gonna get to straight to work. Tell me if the music audio in the background is too loud. We will try to resolve that if we can. Speaking of trying to solve things, let's look at the... Alright, so what do we want? Likewise, draws comparison, giant crusher. Gotcha. I'm glad to see that you're feeling a bit better, though, Xavier. Hopefully what you had wasn't too serious, if it's getting better already. I was going through Morn Castle, and it has some of the same non-Banished Knight weapons as the ones at Gatefront, along with Banished Knight weapons. What do you mean by non-Banished Knight weapons? Can you clarify exactly what you mean? Let it spillow. Okay, I think I know what first. God, I love Dramatic Irony. It is such a good track. Hey, I am good to see you. Again, if the music is too loud, please tell me, guys, so that way I can turn it down for you guys. But if the audio levels are fine, that's wonderful. I forgot what that guy gave you again. We already killed Lion Boy here, right? Okay, I think we need to... Yeah, we need to get into our good old Nomad class. There it is. Make sure there's nothing else here. What are these amazing instruments? This is Dramatic Irony. It is Kafka's theme. It is a remix of Vivaldi. I think it's Vivaldi's Winter, if I recall correctly. It is a beautiful track. Listen to me. Wasn't it you who invited me? God, that trailer. I stand by it, chat. That trailer single-handedly got me into Honkai Star Rail. I'm still in utter disbelief that I'm playing that game solely because of advertising. Like, that trailer just hooked me immediately. I hate it. But I know Honkai Star Rail gave me tons of other ads in retrospect, but I just tuned them all out. But goddamn, Kafka finally broke through. It was all thanks to her music. I'm not sure if this is ideal, but let's try this. It's also just the lighting of it. Yeah, you never get it. You never get it fully cooperating, so... Yeah, okay. It is what it is. It's too loud? Gotcha. Let's turn it down a little. There we go. There we go. Alright, that should be better, huh? The rapiers and battle axes also has butchering knives and blade tail. Okay, that's normal though. Okay. Yeah, that's like regular generic weaponry, so okay, nothing too unusual there. Good to know. Yeah, I was wondering if the butcher knives were potentially related to the slave rebellion thing, or the misbegotten being mistreated, but it seems to not be the case. Alrighty. That's better? Perfect. Again, thank you guys for your feedback. Really appreciate it. What else do we want for shots today? Fringe Folk Rebellion. Heraldry. Da-da. We have those shots, I know. Some fans have positive Placky. Yeah, this paragraph is so packed. I don't know if I can fit the Placky Storm thing in here, but I think I'm gonna at least give it a good go and see if I can keep it, like, concise enough that it would be like, okay, if I had a Farm Azula thesis, people would understand what I'm referring to instantly, and those who just played the game would know as well. But it's not going to be, like, belabored too heavily, so I'll see if I can do it. But this paragraph is pretty packed. Yeah, my ears can rest now. I've heard a lot of Island today. Is that so? Deadly Power, Penopolines. Miss Ancient Dragon War, Win-Win, Saint Snack. Mix of Dragon and Erdtree banners. In the Divine Tower building. I'm pretty sure we have all this. Age-old civilization. The Weeping Island, a peninsula. Okay, demonstrating reconnect. Okay, we have shots of the bridge, but maybe we can get like shots of the side or something where it's less obviously related to Godric. Maybe we'll see. The Demi-Human Forest stuff. We get the Spelldrake Talisman from the Room Bear. I can't forget that. Tombs Ward Settlements needs to be removed here. Yeah, that's not should be here. We've already established those aren't related. If you want to see what the Hawk Lever looks like, you just go into any mine. Oh, that's true. We should grab a shot of that just in case I want to use that. Again, it's not as consistent as I would have liked. But who knows? It might still be meaningful. You know what? I want to check. Just so we have the comparison ready, let's get one at Stormvale too, because I know there's a lever here. There should be two, actually. Yeah, so we have this. And it's not even hard to tell that it's Langdell related, right? Like, look at this. The tree imagery. Also, I love how it's over here, and yet the lighting looks better here than over here. Whatever, right? Yeah, I want to get the shots of the cannons. Just in case, I might want to bring up that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Lever has a texture bug. And it's funny that it never got caught or fixed. Just real funny how that works out. It's the same thing here. This lever doesn't even make sense why it works. It really doesn't. It's just like, ah, yes. Where's the mechanism for this lever to activate? This is, again, one of those moments where I'm like, okay, you have to take some creative license with how From Software constructs their worlds. Not every little thing has a lore rationale. At some point, you just gotta accept a game's a game. Let's go down here real quick. Yeah, this is the structure. Okay. Let's go out to the stones. It's a lever because it's an RPG. Exactly. There has to be some mechanism to call the lift, right? It does have to make sense, right? Similar to how the buttons don't really make sense when you think about them. It's like, ah, yes, I step on this button on this thing, and somehow there's some mechanism that travels up the chains in order to make them go back up or down. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You just kind of have to accept it. I'm looking at the stonework because there's something I remember seeing at Morn, and I want to confirm it isn't just a one-off thing. No, those are leaves. I was wondering if that was the gold thing we saw on the mainland with Chapel of Anticipation, but no, that's different. Yeah, it's all normal. Got some puddles, but that's about it. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I like that. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to do. Nothing different in here. Don't see it. Ah, so you're staring at innocuous floor textures too! That I am. Sometimes you just gotta look at your feet, you know? It doesn't happen often, but sometimes you just do. That how it be. Hey, is there any lore for why the scaly misbegotten with the great axe doesn't have any red fur? Not that I'm aware of. I think it's just a matter of them having different models from concept art that they did to give you like small misbegotten, big misbegotten, and then of course leonine misbegotten. But I don't think there's any, like, rhyme or reason for why the big scaly boys have less fur compared to their smaller cousins. And obviously, more scales than their smaller cousins still. Yeah, so as far as I can see, not a lot of random gold in the stonework. Aside from repurposing Gollum for themselves, the invaders, Norman Fortress, and others. Between the road to a few Arsborg. There's also built a massive wall at the end of the ravine. The main road follows. This I want to see. Do we have... What do we have looking at Limgrave? Oh, you know, we're lacking a lot of the graveyards and stuff. I don't have that saved here, so we're gonna go to my sorcerer very quickly, because sorcerer should still have all the death stuff marked. Yes, the only room with flies in Stormvale. Yep. All the other stuff rotting, but no, that area specifically is where the flies decided they wanted to be. They're very, dramatic like that. Ooh, did I die up there at some point? Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to leave myself that way. I want a shot of this. Because I don't know if I have a shot of, like, the graveyard as a whole, or something like that. I can't recall. Wait, is it supposed to be like that? Ah, there I am. I'm like, where the hell is my character? There we go. Ooh, I actually really like that one. That's actually pretty good. Sometimes you have to look at your feet to make sure it isn't grafted. Exactly, I am. Sometimes you just gotta make sure your foot isn't grafted. You want to be like, is that still my foot? Yep, that's my foot. That's not anybody else's. Certainly not some contorted abomination of a foot that I just took from somebody else and decided to attach to my own flesh and blood. For some reason. Probably overcompensating for something. Yeah, that should cover all that. Meanwhile, back in Limgrave, Norman architecture being extended. Oh, no. Okay. To the north, the construction of Saints Bridge, Norman Hill. Okay, yeah. This stuff I know we have shots of, so we should be fine there. I'm glad the golden flowers are being put to good use. Yeah, I am too. I'm glad that there is a lore significance to them in terms of where they're being placed, usually for propaganda purposes. If not for, of course, their natural reason, as we know, around areas of gold, right? Like, it's just really neat that those have a significance to them, that Dark Souls flowers generally did not. Granted, you kinda had Miyazaki dipping his toes in that with the dendrification in Dark Souls 3. But that's kind of a separate thing for the most part. It very rarely used actual flowers. It was mostly like trees or like grass. Yeah, we could do a better shot of the bridges and things. I also want to double check to see if we have a shot of. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. What do we use for? I want to double check something real quick. Let's check, Godric. I want to check my reference shot for Agil. Because I may use the wrong one. No, I actually haven't. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So what we want to do here is open up this folder for Fringe Folk Rebellion. I have it as its own separate thing. And what we want to do is move that over here. This image I have. Yeah. We're going to move this over here so it's easier to keep track in the future. Yeah, one of these bridge shots we can use. I'm not sure if we have a good one for Saints Bridge, though. Let's check under... Yeah, let's play it safe and take another shot of Saints Bridge, just in case any of the previous shots I've done, I, like, got rid of for some reason or another. And it's quite possible I did. I might have been like, nah, these are all shit, I'll just retake them later. Oh god, why is everyone in my chat so tiny now? Like, what happened to my chat? You guys became small. It's kind of creepy. There we go. You're normal now. I don't know how that happened. Wait. There we go. Also, there's the little bit of lore with some of the other flowers and weird one-off flowers of questionable significance. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, generally, it's good that the game, whose central motif is a giant fucking tree, actually has flora play a very key role in the environmental storytelling in ways that just wasn't in the past. That's very nice. Me, a tiny, tiny lizard. I am playing the violin. I know you said you've had enough of violin for the day, Ian, so apologies, but I just really love this song. Yeah, let's go here. Ah, damn. I was not expecting that. Alright, that should fix it. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I have to go back to normal speed for the Let's Play chat. I'm gonna be questioning my life's decisions. Really? Can't we do something about all this? Please? Would you? Am I asking for too much? Doth the Loki protest too much? There we go. be honest, I like this angle more. There we go, Saints Bridge. We should do, let's do high quality backgrounds and stuff. Let's see, higher LEDs, yeah. Yeah, look at that. That is such a major difference. It just feels so much better than what we were doing last time. Okay. I gotta remember that when we're doing those big terrain shots. I mean, do you want to fight Melania in super speed instead? Okay, fair point. I see your point, Xavier. Alright, now what we were doing proper, going to graveyards. So there's one here. I got the one here, so I have shot on that one. It's the other ones where I'm like, do I have these? I don't know. If so, we are gonna get better shots anyway. Obviously, we have the catacombs. We'll have Murkwater Catacombs next. I should have gotten the shots of this while I was here. Darn. Yeah, we obviously have that. And yeah, let's grab this too. Here's the question. Does higher LODs do anything here? With all the fog, I actually don't know. It makes the foliage deeper, but that's about it. Like, it really doesn't change much. Alright, next up, these are kind of off the beaten way, so... I'm gonna go to that side of the graveyard because I don't know what may not be loading because of our location. So let's... Okay, yeah, there's actually a lot less of this than you think. Okay. Ah, there's a fucking leaf in my way. Damn. Beautiful. Alright, we go this way. Then I'll get to chat in a sec. Sorry, chat, I have to ignore you for this because this is just... I want to get out of here where this area could possibly crash my game at any time. Just knowing how Elden Ring is. So I just gotta give it priority. Yeah, I think I like the original show. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay. Let's get out of here, chat. Get a picture of the hawk lever? Right, good. Think, Loki, think. Yeah, it's okay, because why not end the day with the violin when I start with the violin? I suppose. I suppose that is a big brain way to think about it. So let's see. Hawk lever, let's go to a mine first. Because then we can grab the shot there, and then we can get out of there, no problem. I think I killed the troll here, too, so we can just warp out. Yep, that looks like a bird of prey of some sort. Again, I wonder if this is going to be like the coffin cemeteries, like the one I just took a shot of earlier, where it's like, okay, it has a very specific icon on it, but it's being used generically, so there's not really any cultural connection we can make. I am curious if that's the, if that's how it works. Yeah, we go here. Loki, can you ignore us for 15 hours? I mean, if you want. I don't know, I think 15 hours might be a bit much for you, but what do I know? If that's what my chat wants from me, I'll just shut up and ignore you guys. You masochists. Yeah, I was wondering if I could do this without triggering all that. Damn. That bloom is a bit too much. Damn. Damn. Maybe going for ×5 speed was a bit much. There we go. Alright, so we do this. We get the higher LODs. Fun fact, Corrin's robe, his unique wheel, has a smaller version of the shackle from the Prophet robe hanging off of it. Oh, that's a neat little thing. They didn't have to do that. Okay, yes, small, but it's worth it. I wish I had something interesting to say about the scale armor set Nardi was asking about. Yeah, scale armor's a bit weird, because it may just be a generic, like, tarnished, quote-unquote, set. Like, some random tarnished had it, they died in the area, and the merchant picked it up, or whatever, right? Like, something like that might be the lore. And, it doesn't have any deeper stuff for it. Like, maybe there's some concept art or content thing about it, but, like, what you see is basically what you got, right? Yeah, we're missing, like, a little bit of them because of the tree, but I think we get the idea, right? Like, it's a line of these things. I'll get a shot of this just in case. Yeah, there's nothing else I'm forgetting around here, right? Or I missed. I'm pretty sure I've been very thorough to make sure I get all of these collections of graves wherever they are. We want to go over here now. Yeah, nowhere else except down here. You asshole. You assholes. You're all assholes. Well, are you gonna howl again, Mr. Wolf? Or is that a one-time thing? Well, either way, we're doing this. Hey, Night Scout. Hey, Kim Lee. Good to see you both in here. Merry Christmas to all of you. And I hope you all have a happy new year going forward. Has a weirdly empty item description. Yeah, it's something very bare, which makes me think there isn't anything actually secretly lore significant. I think it's just, they need to put that armor, they need to get that armor available somewhere. A lot of armors, especially tarnished and class armors, are available in the shop, in the store, quote unquote, from the merchants. So I think they just decided that that would be their thing. Let's see. Funny dog goes brrr. Like, did he howl when I wasn't looking? When I spawned in? I don't think so. He's triggered by us, okay. Okay, I know what I gotta do now. I gotta run in, get in there, and get out. Your earlier talk about Fringe Folk Islands got me thinking about the Church Dragon community's architectural features to observe. Yeah, well, again, the Fringe Folk theory I threw out was literally, as I said, like, just crazy thought. I actually don't think it's true either. I was just kind of, like, trying to, like, come up with, like, some scenario, and I was like, this is interesting. I just don't think it's true. I just had a very neat idea if it was true. I just don't think it makes sense, right? Yeah, so we want the shot to be like this. Still nothing? Was it just coincidence the other times I triggered this wolf? I feel like I'm going crazy, chat. Maybe it was built by banished knights, or maybe it was made from Caelid settlers heading westward. The Dragon Community churches, yes. If you read my Fringe Folk Rebellion doc that I have in, the Discord, I do talk... Did he just howl? Right now I can't hear over the music, so... Especially when I'm talking. But anyway, yeah, so I more or less agree that the banished knights made the churches of Dragon Communion. That's all in the doc there. Okay, okay. I think it just triggers fast, and I'm just... Oh, speaking of triggering fast. There we go. Oh, come on. I mean, is that the architecture might help date when it was built, either by banished knights or unrelated Caelid settlers? No, I don't think that strictly helps, because it's the same generic church architecture, as all the other churches that we go to, really. Like, the only ones that really... Yeah, it's the same stuff. The only thing that doesn't get, that gets, like, different architecture is the unruined churches, right? Because those then use, like, you know, unruined texture models and stuff. The only time I can think of like something more unique than that is with the Church of Vows and the Moon Church. I'm struggling with this, so I think I did this like this last time, so let's do that this time so that way I can get into position better. Okay, so you saw the comments. I'll check the rough draft doc. Yeah, I recommend checking the I don't know about the comments necessarily, but I did see I've done the analysis on all that stuff a while back for the Godfrey doc, so, like, the Fringe Folk Rebellion is just an excerpt from that. And I'm going to eventually finish it up. Nope. This feels so awkward, because I saw a freaking wolf do a howl, and it looked really good, and now I can't recreate that shot. I hate myself. I really do hate myself sometimes. Like, why am I like this? Hello? Oh! God, that came out of nowhere. He was, like, not doing anything, and then he said, okay, fuck it. There we go. Loki's too much of a perfectionist for his own good. I suppose I am. But, like, come on, chat. Be real to me. Isn't this shot the coolest shit with the wolf howling on top of the ruins? This freaking wolf in the background here, like, mid-leap, trying to get off? They're all playing and stuff. Like, even if it's not going to be mentioned in the doc whatsoever, it's just cool little flavor. And someone programmed it to do all this. So it's like the wolves are playing around and the pack leader's kind of just doing his thing, howling and shit. Like, I gotta show that just for the fun. There's probably something important with the stones turning to solid gold nuggets. Yeah, I think it just has to do with the idea they put a lot of gold at the Chapel of Anticipation. I think that's the real reason, right? And I was kind of thinking, like, okay, well, maybe it'd be cool if the god was there and, like, tie it all. I think the Chapel of Anticipation is called the Chapel Awaiting a King because it has to do with the Elden Lord, right? And we go there, so it's waiting for us, the quote-unquote Lord or the future Lord and all that stuff. Like, because I've tried to connect it to the Storm King, well, the Stormhawk King specifically, to the the, obviously now to, like, the idea of, like, okay, there's the queen buried there, so, like, she's waiting for her king or whatever. Like, I've tried to connect it many which ways. I think it always goes back to just the very boring answer of, it's just talking about us, the Tarnished, who is to become Elden Lord. It's like, it's boring, but that's probably what it's for. I like it. A little bit more like this, too. Hey, we don't care much about the corpse, though. This isn't a bad shot, either. It's not as good, but it's not, like, the worst. Never mind, I hate it. This shot's much cooler. Like Melina being the Glowmite Queen somehow. Yeah, right? Like, you can come up with a lot of cool, interesting, and, like, creative theories, I'm sure, about the Glowmite Queen's identity. But all the evidence, and just, like, the basic logic of storytelling... Like, I was very open to other, like, the theory of, like, other, like, ideas about the Glowmite Queen and stuff like that before I learned about the Chaos ending with Melina. And then I'm like, okay, Miyazaki's not even, like, trying to be subtle about it anymore. Like, it's very obvious there. Like, you know what he's doing. We all know it. It doesn't need to be said. We know what he's trying to do in that moment. It's supposed to be the big, aha, reveal! You connect all the dots. It's so... It's just one of those things where it's just like... Sometimes you just gotta accept that the boring answer is the answer. Kinda like when Vanti likes to play around with, like, the timeline shenanigans, but he doesn't actually take the timeline... All Souls games are part of the same universe thing seriously. He just thinks it's a cool little thought experiment. Yeah, it's cool, it's neat, requires you to ignore basics of each individual game's cosmology, but, like, it's neat. And really, isn't that what matters the most? Is that we have some fun. Who really cares about accuracy? That is the worst place I could have stopped. There we go. Oh, I've never even opened it as my sorcerer. That's surprising. I'll be honest, chat, I hate this. This little choke point it's doing, this little squeeze, this neck here, makes it so hard to get a good angle. This is awful. Loki, where can I read more on Koss and Ebrietas having their names swapped? Is it perhaps in some vid with you and Acer as well? I don't remember if I've ever talked about it on a podcast or something, if I'm being honest. So I'm sorry if I'm not that helpful in that regard. Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. And I'm thinking, Rosas really is a weirdo? I mean, did you look at his neck? Anyway, back to the Koss and Ebrietas thing. So yeah, originally, Ebrietas' name was Koss. Flora's name was Ebrietas. Yeah, and then, I forget... No, because Koss wasn't even a thing at that point, right? So that was something separate. So yeah, in like the cut dialogue and stuff, it seems like when Mikolash was talking about Koss and stuff, the original plan was for Mikolash to be talking about Ebrietas, but when Ebrietas was Flora, and we don't know about Odin. if there was any, like, switch-arounds with the names there. And we don't know about, what are they called? The amygdalas and stuff. Like, as far as we can tell, those were always amygdalas, just because the design and the name, everything sort of just fits there. I don't know if it's ever been talked about publicly, though. It's something that you just know if you've looked into the game files and you're familiar with content, really. Again, I'm sorry I can't help you more. I'm not sure where to look. Perhaps Lance's content? Maybe? I don't know if Lance has ever highlighted that detail, though. Because Lance will usually just talk about, like, internal names. So he'll talk about, like, the one who comes after Ebrietas. Because I think he, like, Google translated, like, some of those Japanese names or something. But it's, like, the one who, like, succeeds Ebrietas or something like that, right? Or the one who comes after so-and-so, right? Oh, no, it was actually the one who succeeds Koss or something, because, again, Koss is called Ghost in the Japanese, right, and Koss was at that point Ebrietas, so the idea was, like, you would fight Ebrietas, and then after Ebrietas, you would fight the Moon Presence Flora, so there's indication in the files of something like that. Again, like, maybe you could get some hints of it in Lance's content, but I don't know who would have talked about that specifically. You might be able to find it in Sinclair's content, because they have so many episodes on basically everything Bloodborne, but I wouldn't know where to look for that specific topic. BB story revisions are kind of crazy. Like, all Souls games go through some serious and major revisions. Like, think about it. At one point, we were going to have fat ministers with skinny variants in, like, Undead Burg or something, right? Like, that was going to be a thing for Dark Souls 1. We were going to have a time where when Anor Londo was turned into Nighttime Anor Londo, the Silver Knights were going to be replaced by the Black Knights. Now, how does that make sense in the lore of the final game? It doesn't, which is why it was changed, because clearly they had some idea, they thought it'd be cool, but they couldn't find something to justify it, and they ultimately scrapped it. Then they kind of made a meta-reference to themselves about it in Dark Souls 3 with the Untended Graves, right? So it's like, haha, remember those Black Knights who were supposed to be in the dark version of an area? Well, we're doing it now. So it's like, From Software is a very, From Software as a company is not very rigid, especially with Miyazaki directing. Like, he is very happy to, like, play around, move things a bit, come up with new ideas for designs that had a, you know, previous concept behind them, in order to make something work for the better of his story or whatever. Yes, good tip, thank you. No problem, Gimli. I'm always happy to help. I'm thinking, chat, you know what? I hate saying this, chat, but I think I just take a shot like this. Yeah. Yeah, I think we get a shot like this. There we go. And then we adjust the lighting and get a shot like this with the, yeah, get a shot like this. With the catacomb in the corner there. Yeah, I think that's how we do it. Let's see how good the lighting is to see if we can get a decent enough shot of everything. Okay, we can't get that. It's not perfect. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. Looks like a fissure opened up in the middle of the graveyard. I think it's more so they just they designed it around the idea of the valley. Though I'm not sure when the water came. Because if you pay attention, of course, it's obvious that there's supposed to be like this river lake thing. But it would normally, the water should be flowing that direction. But instead we also have it going in this direction here. So I'm not sure if it's like, it's a leakage thing. It just slowly leaked out. And we know because of Agil and the way it's set up that, ended up flooding everything here and extended here to create the lake and stuff, so. Originally, this stuff was supposed to be much more limited, much like with Liurnia. It's just not been taken care of because, well, the people settling that area where it could easily be flooded, well, died or stopped taking care of the flooding. Let's see. So that's where I'm like, I don't know when in the timeline we should consider that to have been added. Like, was that there when the catacomb was being built? They were like, who cares? It'll be fine. Or was that something that just happened afterward? that. Alright, we do that. We adjust the lighting here. I don't know, chat. I think this is better, yeah. I think that's a much clearer image. Let's see if we can get a better angle. No, not like that. God, that's ugly. That's so unspeakably ugly. Alright, I think it's enough shots of this. If I recall correctly, the same type of tombstone is seen upright in place throughout the lands between, so these probably weren't built horizontally into a cliff face, except we find them in plenty of places where they are quite obviously built horizontally into a cliff face without any other idea to be like, oh, the earth split. Like Night Scout. They can reuse the assets to have these things that we use to scale down also used to just be upright. The point of the various different graveyards we have is clearly to create variety, so we don't see the same copy-paste graveyard assets used for every single thing. Now, sometimes there's some lore significance, like I talked about with the flat-topped graves versus the flower-topped graves, but that's a very obvious and consistent pattern. So, like, here, okay, let's give the player a means of traversal down to this cliffway. Okay, we have the catacomb here, we'll have these graveyard things here. Okay, we're gonna be using one of these stone things here. We copy-paste them a lot everywhere. Okay, well, let's put one of those grave assets we use to help scale down and put it on top of this thing, so that way it looks slightly different from the others, right? So it's not everyone sees the exact same assets, right? It's to make sure, it's sort of like how people complain sometimes in Elden Ring about how the ruins and stuff are copy-pasted assets, but it's not as bad because the assets get mixed around and changed up, so it's not the exact same copy-paste ruin everywhere. Sure, they're all using the same, you know, asset set, but there's some variety into how the towns are laid out and things, so that you can kind of feel like, okay, these are different places, even though it's all the same, like, stonework. Did you get a the ground could have collapsed? Night Scout. The ground collapsed and managed to create a perfectly horizontal look for these gravestones for us to scale down. No, that's just silly. I'm sorry, that's just silly. We'll get these later. Yeah, let's get this here. I did say I wanted to grab that, so. I don't think people in the lands between are building those that way on purpose. You know what I think? I think they're built that way because the developers wanted to use it as an image to scale down, and it'd be really cool. That's what I think. I think that's as far as it went. Oh, look. Wouldn't it be cool if you had these giant graves that you kind of scaled down in the lands between? Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do that. They did it. They didn't think much harder than that. We don't need to try to over-rationalize every little thing, as I was saying at the beginning of this stream. Sometimes you just gotta accept that it's a video game. Did you get a picture of the Banshees armor in the catacombs? I think I actually did a few streams back, so. Yeah, okay, we're good. So here's the question. Do I want the graveyard with the Summon Water Village obviously in the background? I mean, the trees cover it anyway. But I think the tombstone, the developers want that image, yeah, but I think the tombstone wound up that way due to some disaster rather than built that way in setting. Again, Night Scout, the point is that it wasn't built that way in setting per se. It is designed that way in the game by the developers without additional thought into how it would be rationalized in the setting. It's simply there to look cool. In the same way that you have a bunch of runes that have the same assets copy-pasted, but they're not expecting you to try to rationalize why every single ruin for every single town from different cultures, time periods, blah blah blah, all look the same. It's shorthand. Use your imagination. Now, I agree. When do you draw the line on that? Sure. If you had something, like, extra to go with your idea besides the idea of, like, oh yeah, they just all fell and happened to make sideways. Like, maybe there was some rubble at the ground or something like that that could make you go, okay, maybe I could see, like, there's been a collapse of the ground to make that work. Then I would give it more credence. But just by itself, it's like, no. It's just absurd on its face. I hate it, chat. I really do. Where's my character again? Okay, there I am. So I'm that asshole in the background over here. I don't... Yeah, I'm actually not visible from where I'm taking these shots, so that's actually cool. That's actually really convenient how that worked out. All right. Let's go this way. I think I have shots of the graveyard in here. Let me double check this actually real quick. Summon Water Village, Summon Water Village. I actually don't. Wow. I surprise myself sometimes. What a dumbass thing to do. I take shots of everything except the graveyard part of this map? I really must not have wanted to do graves before we were actually at this point. God, it's starting to chug with higher LODs. There we go. God, that looks so ugly when you zoom out. Like, holy frick. That looks absolutely awful. See, this is why people call it the cum water. When you look at it, like, from this far away in the LOD, it's like, goodness me, it looks awful. It was a future Loki problem. Yeah? Fuck past Loki. Present Loki surprised by past Loki. We just have to I have to come and accept myself that past Loki's just an asshole. Unlike me. I fucking hate you. If this tree wasn't here, this shot could work. Not coping. This shot could have worked. Alright, so I think we have to... I think what we need to do is have two separate shots. So we'll do this. Yeah. We'll have this shot. And now we just gotta figure out what the lighting will be for this. Nope. I think the graves in the background blend in too much that way. Yeah, I think this is better. This, I think, is more easily defined. If the Mariner was still present, he might be able to knock the tree down. You know, that's fair. But I'm pretty sure I killed the boss here. Yeah, yeah, I did. Actually, I'm kind of wondering how the game determines what trees can be knocked down and what can't. Do all trees have, like, a knockdown value? And it's just a matter of having bosses that can, you know, break them? I'm actually curious about that now. Really? Really? Well, it's almost nighttime anyway, so let's reset things. Looks like a pretty big tree, though. Yeah, that's true. Maybe certain big trees don't work. It's a sign that you're growing as a person, I think. Yeah, let's call it that. You guys crack me up sometimes. I forget that the corpse of D stands over as a tarnished NPC. Is it? It's the one in the sinner robe, isn't it? Am I crazy? Where is that asshole? Yeah, it's the sinner robe. Oh my god, but you're right. It is just a tarnished NPC. Oh. Whoa. Well. Hello. Hello, I-Man. Welcome to the chat. Might ignore you for a second. I gotta go get a big shot. Why do we have consistent rain? Is it the rainy season in Limgrave? Crack the chat. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Okay, now I really gotta focus, guys. Sorry. I want to get out of this chug land. My poor frames. Alright, this I think is fair. Yeah, this I think is fair, chat. So we could say, okay, we got the graveyard in the town, we have the graveyard in between the town and Saints Bridge. Yeah, I think this is good. Check to see if he has any gold in them. Ooh, that's an interesting idea, Night Scout. Let's go check that out right now before we leave. Also, I'm going to take this off higher LODs for a moment because holy frick, I cannot take. There we go. Holy hell. I was starting to feel like I was trudging through marshland for a second there. Let's look at your eyeballs, my friend. Oh god, no. This might not be easy. Guy looks like they gave him, like, very bright gray eyes. I guess to kind of give you the idea he's dead, right? You know, the typical anime thing where their eyes just turn white when they're, like, knocked out. They're, like, not conscious. Looks like they went that direction. No gold in there. Alright. Who's her? Who's he? Just some random corpse that D stands over. That I can't remember. Does D say that that corpse was gonna become Destined Death? And he basically says, hey, it's better off I put you down than you becoming a skeleton? Or was it that it was supposed to be one of those those who live in death? Sorry, Destined Death, I said. Those who live in death, I mean. It's a tarnish, question mark, ... Incomprehensible. Okay. I don't think we need anything else here. No, so that area's covered. Oh, we need the graveyards, though, here. Okay. Why is it rain? D says the corpse avoid becoming undead. Okay, good. I was like, I do not remember his dialogue that clearly, so I may misspeak here. It has been so long since I gave any thought to D. We'll do it from up here, I guess. I'm sure hiding in this bush isn't gonna affect anything, right? Right? The game wouldn't do that to me, would it? No. The game wouldn't. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, thank God. Higher LODs fix that. Oh, I was about to be like, no, this problem. Okay. Hear me out. I kind of want to get rid of the room bear. He's kind of a distraction. Whatever, it's fine. Rune bear gonna rune bear, I guess. Okay, can you get out of the way? There we go. The undead killed the tarnish, but the deathlight didn't afflict that tarnish. That's the gist of what D says. Okay, good to know. Look, he's interested in the D lore. Yeah, sorry, I'm just not into the D. Just not my thing, you know? But P, no, now she. That's a fine woman. A pussycat, you might say. Feisty one. You might have to give a bit more thought to D. The fact that his cape has a snake on it might date him to before the Serpent rebelled in the early Golden Order days. He's supposed to be tarnished, though, isn't he? Actually, does he ever say? I don't know. Maybe not. That could be cool, though, if he has some connection to snakes, whether it's he's from that time, or maybe he just, maybe there's just some cultural thing going on with him. Could also be the Formless Serpents, maybe? You could maybe tie him to being part of the Formless Serpents once upon a time. That's the only other thing I can think of. But yeah, like, a lot of the minor NPCs, I don't really care about their stories, at the moment at least. Because I'm so focused on trying to get the big picture stuff done. And then maybe later on I'll be like, oh, okay, I want to kind of dig into some of the nuances with these guys and get a more specific idea with their stuff. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't care too much about the NPCs in this game. Now, granted, I've never been too fastidious when it comes to NPCs in From Software games. I think the only NPCs I really liked and were, like, super, like, into following their stories from beginning to end was, Grey Rat and, Laurentius. Others kind of just existed for me. Yeah, there's the one over there. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, okay. Any issues with this? I don't see anything other than us wanting to check the lighting. good either way, huh? I think this is actually the best one. I like the NPCs a lot. All the Patches side quests are great. Well, Patches is Patches, right? But he doesn't really have too much of a narrative arc before 3. I like a couple of them, like the Snake Lady. Ah, the Snake Lady. I'm trying to think. Oh, right! From Volcano Manor. Right, Raya. Okay. Formless Serpent seemed like they'd have been assassins for the Major Serpent, so he might have been rejected by the Golden Order too for that. Yeah, that makes sense. Though I guess you could make the case maybe that his rejection of like anything related to Gelmir would be why he worked so tirelessly as a Golden Order fundamentalist to kind of like prove himself to the others. I could see that being the case, but yeah, I have to look into it more. I want to look at the serpent, how it is. Is it like supposed to just be metaphorical? Could it be connected to Gelmir, right? Like, I'd want to look more into that. Rune Bear wrestling match. Yeah, who's gonna win? Like a dozen or so feisty wolves, or one Rooney boy, one roided bear. Oh. All right, so we got the graveyards there. We got the graves there. I got that bridge. Got that. Okay, so now, let's, I think I have a shot of this, but let's get another one just in case. I don't remember if I've opened that or not. That's the problem. We have the graveyard there. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Oh, look there. Alright, so far, the meteorites flying in the sky behind have not caused any trouble with my shots. I'm hoping that'll continue. Yeah, okay, so we have this here. So there's the town. The graveyard is somewhere back here behind it. I don't remember exactly. Holy crap, I didn't realize how close the crater is. Wow! I didn't realize how close that thing actually is. But yeah, the graveyard's like here or something, right? Yeah, look, there's the flowers, I remember. So like, these are probably where the graves spawn. Yeah! That's a good shot! That's a good shot. So we're gonna have the normal shot just in case. And then the slightly angled shot. I like that. Stack Lady is nice. I like Sin. Yeah, Sin is a wonderful human being. Alexander's side quest is the best one. Now, granted, I have not finished that quest, right? So maybe I'll feel differently about Alexander by the end. But yeah, I've just never been too attached to NPCs in Miyazaki's games. I disagree, though, with people who complain about, like, no, we don't have to follow them and we can miss them or whatever. I'm like, that's the point. It's to have that unique experience where you meet that NPC and kind of follow his journey purely by happenstance coming across him. And hey, sometimes you miss that, and then you get to hear your friend tell you all about it. And that's just the cool stuff about FromSoft games, right? That's just what makes them special. Yeah, okay, let's start from here. I have the shots of this bridge that I like, so. The tale of Hoslow is told in blood, Loki's favorite quote. I will admit, I do find the Hoslow NPC guy, like, funny. I just find his whole thing just, like, kind of, like, absurd in the most, like... Like, I assume intentional way by the devs, like... It's kind of like Godric, where you kind of, like, yeah, they ever, like, you know, the writers and stuff don't, like, take Godric, they don't ever, like, make a clown of him, like, visually or aesthetically. Like, they try to keep on him as, like, a menace. But, like, the way he's toned and written in the game, it's very clear that he's kind of, like, a joke, right? And, everybody, including the writers, are in on it, that he's kind of, you know, kind of a bitch. But that's fine, right? We love Godric regardless. And I feel like the same ideas with Hoslow, where you're like, you know, you're kind of a whiny bitch. You know, TBH. Yep, I did it, chat. No weird meteorites floating in the sky here. Nope, no sir. Oh, an interesting thing, it's hard for me to say where specifically, but when you burn the Erd Tree in Destined Death, a giant Miranda flower will be added near the Colosseum. Oh. I wonder where exactly that is, because I think there are small Miranda flowers there, so I wonder if the implication is that one of them bloomed into a big one since we first came to Lingdell. That would be interesting if so. The only other thing I can think of is that one, like, blew out of the sewers or something, but I'm like, I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure if that's possible. That may not be physically possible. There we go. That's the angle. I do like how we have the mountaintops of the giants with the kiln thing in the background, too. Yeah, exactly, Night Scout. They don't discount that Godric is a threat for the Tarnished when you're in the moment of doing so, right? So while they do plenty of jabs and stuff at Godric's expense, the writers understand that they don't want to create a tone where the game just kind of feels like, oh, haha, you don't have to take anything seriously, right? Like, Godric is considered, like, a very serious menace for the Tarnished in that portion of the game when you're starting out. So even as they're, like, making jokes and stuff about him, it comes off as more, oh, there's gonna be so much tougher stuff ahead of you. Like, this is just the beginning, right? Rather than purely like, ha ha ha, do you remember that guy? Wasn't he a joke, yo? Right? The focus, it's a very fine line, but I think that Miyazaki did a very good job straddling it to make sure that he could create a character who's, everyone could kind of like joke about him being like, haha, he sucks. But you never kind of like, feel like he's, completely, toothless. Like, that's something that can happen with, like, a lot of, like, cartoon villains and stuff at a certain point, right? Like, you're supposed to take them seriously, perhaps, but the writers kind of, like, they put them in too many, like, compromising situations where you kind of are expected to just kind of point and laugh. There's, like, no getting around that. And it just makes the threat, like, that much less serious for the narrative, regardless of what happens. Biggest diss Godric gets is from Kenneth. That's true. Kenneth unloads so heavily. But you see the same thing. You get lesser extents of it from Enya. You get it from, what's his face? all-knowing boy, Gideon Ofnir, yeah. God, you know how little I think about the NPCs. I'm forgetting a name like frickin' Sir Gideon Ofnir the All-Knowing. Probably the most memorable name ever pronounced by the narrator. Let's go here. I think Miranda Flower is goddess of rot, or at least a daughter. Miranda Flower seems to be a offshoot of an actual daughter, one of Melania's daughters. So like you have a Miranda, and she goes over and she becomes like that. She goes through her like blooming thing we see right outside Melania's boss room, right? And we get her, you know, her leftover clothes or whatever. And that seems to be the origin of the Miranda flowers that spread to the Halig tree and then across the lands between. That seems to be the idea that they're going for with them. So, like, the idea is, like, it's called a Miranda because, you know, that was the woman's name. And now these are kind of, like, pieces of her that spawn more pieces. Sir Gideon is kind of a joke more than Godric. I haven't got into his boss fight, though I know it exists. But I can't imagine an NPC boss is really much of anything. So I can't imagine, like, with all his over-dramatic rhetoric, you can take him very seriously when he's probably gonna die in, like, 5 seconds as soon as the boss fight starts. Can you actually, like, cut his monologuing short? Like, is that a thing you can do? Can you, like, just kill him before he actually finishes through with all his bullshit? Yeah, this one's gonna be tougher. Okay, chat. Don't tell anyone, but I think I'm just gonna take this shot and then edit out the few little pixels in that corner of floating debris, and we'll just pretend I did this on my other character. Okay? Shh, don't tell anybody. Yep, you can. Oh, it's amazing. Gideon's not a joke in the setting. He's not a clever NPC with his footwork by any means, but he can blast the absolute shit out of you if he gets done with his opening speech. If he gets done with his opening speech. Yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be by the writers. I think that's just unintentional. Oh, that's unintentionally like, oh wow, this guy thinks he's hot shit, and then he dies in 5 seconds before he's even done monologuing. That, I think, is what makes... That, I think, is when, a little bit more gravitas could have been maybe used. Like, have him at least cast, like, some magic barrier or shit. Like, every NPC has, like, magic gold barrier protecting them from dying so you can complete their quest, which, by the way, I still kind of dislike. I still think that's kind of dumb. If you kill the NPC, that's on you. It is the easiest thing to not kill an NPC in this game. But whatever. I guess all-knowing Gideon Ofnir couldn't learn the all-knowing invincibility glitch. Alright, we got that covered. God, it really is just the road of death, 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 and more death. Gideon's more of a novelty to give you an easy welcome to the final stretch. Yeah, I can see that if they're trying to use him as a prelude. But it is one of those things where it hurts his, the seriousness you can get from him. if you're kind of like, oh, there's that guy, you kill him. Oh, okay, moving on. Like, it's just one of those things where it just doesn't, it doesn't help his case, is, I would think, is the best way to put it, of, like, why I should take him seriously from that point. So I can't see how that's an oversight with his writing. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Any more of these besides that angle we saw? No, okay. Alright, let's adjust the writing. The lighting. Alright. I think this is actually pretty decent. I don't like the spirit veins or whatever they're called with Torrent being there, but like, it is what it is, right? It's as good as a shot as we're getting. Gideon's words are more important than his fight. The fight is more of a vehicle to show off a neat NPC novelty. And yeah, and you're not going to be able to focus on the speech if you're just going to kill him. That's sort of the point. The fact that you as a player can simply decide that you're just going to ignore the guy who is monologuing and just kill him straight away sort of makes it an unintentional joke for the character. That's, again, we could talk about how it's like it's intended to and the idea, right? Like, again, Miyazaki intended Gwyn to be a strong boss. He was supposed to be the boss where you would take everything you learned across the Dark Souls experience and bring it all together against this super tough final fight. And then he got just parried to death. And even ignoring the parry stuff, he's considered kind of not that difficult of a fight. He's kind of easy. So, like, sometimes what a developer intends isn't executed the best way, and they don't see that until after launch, and they're just like, well, I guess next time I just won't let them get parried in his Dark Souls 3 counterpart. That'll definitely happen in the future. It is what it is. Alright, so that covers all the grave stuff. Let's get the ones here with Kenneth and things. First-time players are probably going to actually listen to him talking. No, I can tell you, I know a friend right now who probably just killed him and moved on, because that's what my friend does with all the NPCs in these games, and that's sort of the point. You're like, ah, no, first-time players are probably going to let him talk. Yeah, a good number of them, and a good number of them won't. So you kind of just have to kind of accept that, like, yeah. For a lot of people, Gideon's not going to be like this super thoughtful NPC. He's just going to be kind of like, haha, that guy I killed in 5 seconds when he was monologuing at the end. Thanks for giving me advice sometime earlier, I guess. Kind of skip through it. I think we want to adjust this way. Yeah, that is so much better. I was like, yeah, that focal length was not working for me. Yeah, I think this is a good one. It's at least decent. Okay, yeah. Then we'll do this. Ah, damn it. Stupid things in the corner there. Look for another good moment. Okay. Those aren't too distracting. The kind of person who'd kill Gideon ASAP in this context is someone who made it to the end game despite instantly murdering every NPC on site. No, not strictly. My friend doesn't kill the NPCs right away, just generally ignores them, or skips through their dialogue. Because he usually wants to probably see if they have like a gift or something they'll give if you talk to them. But yeah, the point is that you have tons of different players who play these games. And there's going to be a good number of them that are probably skipping through and killing Gideon if you can. And those are the people who are going to clip that shit on YouTube and spread it around to the community. It's very weird seeing this, I will say. Okay, can I do this? Get rid of that. Nope, it's still... I love how literally weather effects and stuff are based on your camera, where it's facing. But this stuff, it doesn't matter. Let me try one more time, see if we can... Yeah, no. I think this is fair. Okay. Please, please, game. Give me a win. Oh, what was that? There we go. Hey, buddy. Alright. Your friend will then skip through Gideon's dialogue first, based on the presentation of how the fight starts. That'll give Gideon time to start. But I guess it depends on how that fight presents itself. But I'll ask him and I'll get back to you. Because if he thinks that it's going to lead to a boss fight, he'll just kill him. Because that's how he handled, what's his face? What was the name? That'll come back to me later. We'll see what you think about, when you make it to Gideon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. I'm definitely not going to be skipping his stuff, though. I want to be able to get the proper, you know, the intended experience, right? Because I hate it when I accidentally skip dialogue, as we know on my Hawkeye Star Rating. Okay. Okay, guys, so I think we're actually about to finish up here. I'm gonna check what that is. Oh yeah, that's the thing with the artist. Gideon drinks an empty bottle of Estus because he's the old... Wow, Iron's really giving him shit. Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. Listen, he knows 100 things. When he's out of Estus, it's not one of them. I like that shot. We'll zoom out a little. Yeah, I think it's good. Don't kid yourself, you know it's not accidental. No, it's not intentional skipping! I've been wondering if the reason why there's poison in the beginning part of that Fringe Folk Hero's grave is because like a bunch of stuff gets dumped down there and it rots or whatever and becomes that poison swamp. So I'm kind of curious how close this is to there. So let's double check that stuff, and I think we're gonna finish off there for today. And we'll come back and get some of the other stuff another day. Because there's still plenty of stuff for Fringe Folk Rebellion. But it's taken me 2 hours just to take shots at Graves, because of course it does. It's me. I can never just be like, okay, yeah, just go over there, take a quick snapshot, and move on. Who cares about cinematography? Why am I like this? This is the Nox lever they use, right? Yeah, I think it has the Nox symbol and everything, right? I think. Or at the very least, I think it's similar to the Nox iconography. Who knows, maybe I'm talking out my ass. He's all knowing simply because he knows it's possible to know everything. Yeah, it's a little off. It's closer to the Cave of Knowledge. So it might have to do with the lore of how those guys got stuck down there. Imagine someone, like, sends down a rope and has them climb up with all their crap. So they can get out. That'd be funny. That crack is the only accurate portrayal of holes in cave roofs, I think. Is it? I feel like I'm going farther. I feel like I'm going farther. Ah, yes. I would love it if above ground there actually were these holes you could slip down and would take you into these areas. That would be cool if they actually did that, but they don't. They're purely there for ambiance. Ah, yes. The hole where the lake water should be pouring in. At least this feels more justified because it's very firmly in the lake area, right? But yeah, we are far and away from where we were originally. God, but that looks pretty! Gideon would be neat to discuss, but that's best saved for whenever you defeat Malekith. Yeah, I feel like I would want to talk about, like, Gideon and how I feel about his character and what we've experienced with him in my playthrough when we get to them, right? I know you're waiting for the DLC, but it might be easier to bridge the community's pre-DLC and post-DLC beliefs. You see the base game ending before the DLC comes out. I'll be honest, I get where you're coming from, but I personally don't think the DLC is going to change much when it comes to the endings. I honestly think it's mostly just going to be focusing on smaller stuff, mainly pertaining to Mikola, his side story with the Hailing Tree and Moog and all that, and the like larger heady concepts like the spirit world, you know, the cosmos, you know, the dreams, those type of things. That's where I feel on it. That said, I'm mostly committing to not finishing the game for memes. I just find it funny. Okay, so how do I get closer to that hole? Oh! Oh. Wow. Maybe I should have turned around. Look up? I didn't mean the Cave of Knowledge. Well, it's not definitely here with the poison thing. There we go. There we go. There's a hole here. Very tiny hole. Oh. I think it'll spawn in if we're here. Yeah, okay. So here's our hole. And here is the cave we're in. There is a crack or crevice here, so that's better than nothing. Visiting Placky might be fun, if only using the free cam and seeing how much of FA is still loaded beneath his arena. I actually agree, that actually would be kind of neat. Okay, so here's my question. When it comes to Placky, do you have to do the cutscene in order to... Like, you have to do the resting on the table thing and doing the cutscene every time you die to him or whatever? Or you warp out for whatever reason? Because if so, I might do a free cam thing. So that way, when we do it with the actual Let's Play for the serious fight, I could have you guys all experience it that way so VOD viewers don't feel like, you know, they missed out on an episode or something. It is literally the best you get. That is very so. Cutscene is the only way to get there, but you can't skip it. Okay, so it's a repeatable cutscene. It's not like something where it's like, okay, like I do it once and then like it permanently unlocks like some like passageway I can like instantly work there. Gotcha. If that's the case, then yeah, I could see us in the future then doing a very quick look at all that stuff. Because I've seen the cutscene separately for different stuff I've done with the Farm Azula and Placky and things. But I have not had a good look at the arena yet. So like you said, with the free cam, we might be able to do some fun stuff. Yeah, then maybe it really is the supplies then. So it's not, it doesn't lead directly into the Cave of Knowledge, but it's kind of a thing where it's like, okay, everyone goes down, they get their thing, their bearings going, and then they dive into the cave, maybe. I think you get the cutscene every time, but I'm not 100% on that right now. It is literally the worst boss run back, but it's not bad at all compared to previous games. Gotcha. It's just a minute run at most, just pass 3 guys and take 1 jump and you're good. Yeah, especially if we use, free cam and disable AI, it definitely won't be that bad, but okay. Okay. Alright, thanks guys, I'm glad to know that. Okay, we're gonna end things here then. Thank you so much everybody for showing up for this casual stream, as always. I know this stuff isn't the most thrilling content, especially when it's just me listening to music and chatting with you guys while I go get myself screenshots. For probably an article that's not gonna come out for a while, honestly. What the fuck did I do to the sky? Is it evening? Yeah, it's evening. There we go. Anyway. But I appreciate you guys being here, keeping me company nonetheless. Always great having a discussion with all of you. I hope to see you all coming in next time we do one of these. I don't know when that's going to be, though, so sorry. Until then, later!